I'm very conscious that it's a big beast that is hard to tame, and I think that's going to play into how I race on race day. I'm definitely going to set my goals the day before.
How I can be the best I can be, and not focused on what other athletes are doing around me, just literally focused on how can I be the best runner I can be whilst working a job that I absolutely love. So Jacob Allen, I'm a PE teacher at Central Foundation Boys School and a runner for Highgate Harriers. I also represent the SOAR Running race team.
So I'm Jonathan Escalante Phillips. I am a long distance runner. I am a teacher here at the Plus School. I teach maths and economics, and I run for Cambridge and Coleridge and the SOAR Elite team.
So I've been working at this school 4 years and then teaching for 6. And yeah, this school, so it's a state school, super ambitious, all boys school, 1,000 pupils, so nice, good sized school. Lots of sport, lots of co-curricular, music, drama. Yeah, it's a really vibrant, exciting school to be at.
I'm giving away my age here. I think it's my 8th year of teaching. 3 years here. It's my 3rd year at the Purse. And I wasn't sure about teaching at the very beginning, so I took a year out after uni to work as a teaching assistant at my old high school. I think lots of teachers sometimes go down that route. And I worked there for a year before making the decision to go into teacher training, which I did here in Cambridge. And then, yeah, been a teacher ever since.
How are we doing?
Good, Charlie. How are you?
Very well, thanks, mate. What's on the cards this morning?
So we've got 2.4k times 3 of 75 seconds. Then a mile times by 3 of 60 seconds. And then after that 60 seconds, get straight into a tempo in the park, so 5-mile tempo, and then finish it up with straight into a 3-mile marathon paced effort. So yeah, just a continuous session from the track into the tempo into the marathon pace.
Nice. How many weeks out from running now?
So 3 weeks out now. Yeah.
Feeling
Looking
good?
forward to it. Yeah, feeling good. Training's gone well. Looking forward to the challenge. I think working in education is important for me. I want to inspire pupils to get into sport, to have those lifelong habits in sport. I think that PE previously had a bit of a bad tag, and it was, go out to the field and play sports and just enjoy the games-based element to it. Whereas now I think there's a real focus on, it could be things like diet and nutrition, it could be things like how long to exercise or how much to exercise in a week. So there's a real educational element to it, even at key stage 3, so year 7, 8 and 9. So yeah, the subject's really come on in the last few years. So it's an exciting time to be a PE teacher.
I mean, the last really scary one on paper was last Tuesday. 15 miles alternating above and below marathon pace, so end up being 15 miles at marathon pace, all on the track, 60 laps, except forgot one, so it was actually 59.
It's the variety. It's the fact that you're dealing with people who are changing. You see so much growth in the kids that you're dealing with, even if you don't teach them year on year. Like seeing kids from being little year 7s up to growing up year 13s. It's amazing to watch people progress, even if you're only a tiny part of that. And look, this is probably the case with lots of jobs, but you don't have much control often over when things get busy or not. You're slightly pigeonholed in that structure that school brings, but I think that has loads of advantages too.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 to 4 years I was really figuring it out, and I do mean 3 to 4 years. Only in the past 2 years have I really been able to train consistently. So you're looking at that 6-year block, and only in the kind of 5th and 6th year have I finally found a rhythm with training. So I'm talking a Tuesday session, a Thursday session and a Saturday session. Previously I wasn't able to do all 3 sessions in a week. So yeah, it's taken some time to kind of build that momentum, build that consistency, know what I can and can't do around my usual working day. I think at the level that I'm looking to compete at, which is definitely close to the elite level as possible, as close to the elite level as possible, it can be beneficial to a certain degree. It definitely helps me to take my mind off it. It definitely gives me a focus outside of the running. So yeah, it has its benefits. Obviously, the drawback is I'm on my feet a lot of the time, so I'm working and I'm, you know, I'm not able to recover as quickly between workouts. So I do have to be mindful of what I'm doing in the daytime and how I approach my fueling even at work.
How can I put it? On holidays, I sometimes find that I sort of had these grand aspirations for fitting in my sauna 4 times a week, my gym work 3 times a week, all of these sort of things. And then I don't manage quite the kind of elite lifestyle that I kind of expect myself to live up to during the holidays. And actually, I sometimes find during turn time, yes, I might be a bit tired. Yes, I might have had to, get up a bit earlier than I would ideally like to. But the structure of having the run in, the run back, I'm very lucky that my run commute home takes me past my gym. That then just gives me that kind of very easy automatic structure to do those little extras, which is what sort of helps bridge to the next level.
Yeah, so looking for that kind of 2:13 to 2:15 area, and again going for a similar time this year, I think that it's a completely different sport. 5K, 10K, and half marathon are very similar in terms of the energy system that it works, the types of training that you do. The marathon just has this whole different element. I mean, the fueling being a big part of it, and just the psychological toll it can take on you during workouts, during the actual race. So yeah, it's been like learning a whole new sport, and yeah, I've been given some good stories of top guys that have struggled in their first few marathons, and I'm totally open to learning in these first few and then building on them. I think back to my first couple of 5Ks at a competitive level, or my first couple of half marathons at a competitive level. The times I was able to run were, I mean, my half marathon, for instance, was 2 or 3 minutes slower than what it is now. So I know there's going to be scope for big improvement down the line. I've just got to be willing to do some learning along the way.
I can remember always saying when I sort of started running, and people sort of, oh, you're going to do the marathon? No, I'm not going to run the marathon until I'm 30. And I am now over 30. So I thought, I sort of in my head, it was a possibility from now on, and I also didn't though want to get to my 40s, say, and then run a really good marathon or a decent marathon and think, what could have been earlier. So I'm not pigeonholing myself in being a marathoner, but I want to see what it's like. I want to see what the process is like. I've enjoyed the process. We'll see whether I enjoy race day. But I wanted to give myself the chance to see what it was like without hopefully breaking myself. And I plan to have a track season and compete over other distances, and then hopefully probably have another crack at some point.
I think the psychological element is really big. So recently I've been working with a sports psychologist to try and come up with some tools and some strategies, even just looking at how you might view pain. It's obviously, if you can try and train your brain to think of it as discomfort as opposed to danger, I think that naturally your mind turns to this, it suddenly thinks that you're in this real place of danger, and that's the kind of natural instinct in you telling you that, but actually it's just discomfort. You can manage it, you've been through it before, and just coming up with some strategies to help yourself through that. Something that I say to myself is Shoe Army, which is the Northampton town football chant. So it's something, if you're from Northampton, it's famous for making shoes, the cobblers. So yeah, it's the home of the shoemakers, so the Shoe Army. So something I say to myself, I've come a long way. I'm from Northampton, small town. My dream was to compete at an elite level and to be on the London Marathon start line. So when I'm in those tough moments, saying something like that, and then also telling myself how proud I am of myself, it can make a big difference on race day. And I've used that in a half marathon just before Christmas. And yeah, I went on to run my best ever time. So definitely those psychological strategies can make a big difference.
Moment of truth. What's your predictors saying for your? Oh, let's actually compare. What does your marathon say you're gonna run? For a marathon?
2:42.
No, what does it actually say?
You take a guess.
Well, I saw it before.
I've been for a run though. It might have changed.
What does it say?
Actually, it has changed. Has it changed?
Oh god, what
It's
was it?
changed a little
It
bit.
was 2:13, no?
Yeah, but I think it's gone down by 6 seconds.
What have we got?
2:13.42.
Oh, okay. Mine's actually 2:13.16.
No way! Well, we know who's facing me for London then.
Falling because you take it.
Optimised. I am
What's your
100%.
Are you?
100.
Oh, I'm only maintaining. And how long till recovered?
10 hours.
What percentage is that?
91.
Okay, you're more recovered than me. I'm only 89.
But I've got 9 miles to do this evening.
And how much did you sleep?
It was good. Last night was good. 8:44.
Ooh, 8:22 for me.
Great.
Yeah, you.
I use the Pace Pro, and it is new for me. So using a COROS watch is not something I'd used before. I'd heard obviously loads of great things. For me, the really, really big standout thing is the heart rate monitor. I in the past I've used various ones on the arms, chest straps, which I found really uncomfortable, and the COROS arm strap I was using a different arm strap heart rate monitor, and this was just like completely game changing. Like just the comfort of having it on there, and I think it's probably about the same reliability. Very reliable. I haven't had any issues with heart rate monitor, but it was just so comfortable. It's taken a bit of getting used to the dial thing, but now I actually really like it, and I like the fact that it's things like you can. Sometimes I like to have the touch screen, and sometimes not. But actually, I've grown to appreciate how functional the wheel is, as opposed to having loads of other buttons that can accidentally get pressed. Then being able to look just in that when you want to, sometimes you don't really care about the particular data, but sometimes you do really care about heart rate drift and things like that, and being able to sort of really pinpoint that and zoom into bits on the app is really helpful. Not just for me actually, but also when my coach is looking at things and wanting to analyze it in a bit more detail on those big sessions, it can be really, really helpful.
So I use the COROS Pro, and yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate to be sent one to trial it out and use it, and its battery life's obviously amazing. I barely have to charge it. Probably once a week I'm getting out the charger. Got it on me now. Yeah, so it's a neat little gadget, a key ring. Keep it with you at all times. I was showing the boys this earlier, but it really is pretty cool. So as long as you've got a USB-C somewhere, you can just whip that out and charge it whenever you need to. But yeah, in terms of the training element, the heart rate I have found to be really accurate. And something I was saying is I wear my watch fairly tight, and with previous watches, if I did that, I found it very uncomfortable, and then it would throw my heart rate data off. Whereas this is the first watch I've had where I can wear it fairly tight. The heart rate is incredibly accurate. I mean, based on when I wear a heart rate strap, and then also based on when I just wear the watch, the numbers are very similar. So yeah, the data that I'm getting is incredibly accurate, which for me and for my coach to respond to and to make training adaptations to and to make training assumptions about has been really useful. Even something that happened in my workout on Saturday, straight away he's responsive to it. He's looked at the workout, he's looked at the data that the COROS has given me, and he's changed today's training session. He actually made it a little bit tougher to respond to the fact that I found it difficult on Saturday, and that's all thanks to him being able to go back and look back at workouts. Ready?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So my name is Rob Wilson and I'm Chief Marketing Officer here at SOAR Running. Yeah, I guess the reason we work with athletes and the reason we work with Jacob and Jet is we're into interesting people doing really cool and inspirational things, but people that your normal runner, and I use normal in inverted commas, can really relate to. So guys that have a day job, they're working hard, they have all the stresses of normal life, but they're then still performing and pushing the boundary at the highest level. And we think that's something that's pretty cool and worth celebrating.
I've been with SOAR for the past 4 or 5 years, but I've actually had a relationship with them for coming up to 10 years now. So right when they were starting out and it was just 2 or 3 of them in an office with this idea, this vision for a brand, the first thing that struck me was the quality of the kit.
Yeah, this is a full 2 years I've been with SOAR. A big part of being with SOAR is kind of the recognition that you're sort of valued, not just your sort of friends or your family or your club members, but people who sort of believing in the sort of value that you can bring to a brand like SOAR.
We're using manufacturers that were European sourced and looking for that high quality. Tim SOAR, the CEO of SOAR, he's from a fashion background, and again he's looking at quality products and quality materials. So yeah, I feel that I'm really pleased with this personal growth element to my training that I've been focusing on for the past 2 years. Even looking at Alex Yee and the way he talks about his training, and there kind of being that development side to it, and it all being about interpersonal growth and or personal growth and personal development. So yeah, looking at how I can be the best I can be, and not focused on what other athletes are doing around me, just literally focused on how can I be the best runner I can be whilst working a job that I absolutely love. And yeah, my life has so much meaning, so much value in it right now. And so yeah, I just feel super grateful to be able to go out there, train and race, and yeah, just as I say, continue to push and grow week to week.
So I read a really interesting paper about the importance of goal setting a couple of months ago, and you know how goal setting has all of these advantages of giving you something to aim for, that motivational factors, blah 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 blah, but also the dangers of goal setting. If you set like a goal, you know, perhaps a long way in front of when you're actually racing, and that goal might be either too easy or completely unrealistic, and it's also almost certainly based on the sort of ideal scenario that you're hoping for on race day.
The PE team at the school is not shy of sharing my ambitions, and I think we're quite good at that. A lot of the PE teachers at the school are quite inspiring, playing basketball still at a good level, playing football still at a good level, and we make sure to share stories of one another still competing in sports, because we really want to embed that in the kids. This idea of sports being something, no matter what you go on to do, no matter what work you go on to do, that's something that you should be taking up for life, building those habits, and surrounding yourself with great connections, great people, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So yeah, they do know about it, and I'm sure some of them will be asking me about it the day after. Yeah,
I'm definitely going to set my goals the day before. I'm going to set my goals knowing what my body's like, knowing what the conditions are like, and there are all sorts of sort of time targets that I've got in mind. There's a club record which is within reach. There's that the 2-hour 15 barrier that sort of feels potentially ballpark on a really good day, but I'm also very conscious that there are a number of runners that I've really looked up to over the years that have trained more miles, more intensely, sensibly as well, and haven't perhaps reached some of these goals that I'm thinking about. So I'm very conscious that it's a big beast that is hard to tame, and I think that's going to play into how I race on race day. I am going to try and listen to my body and set myself limits for that first 15 miles, and then see how the rest of it plays out.